Good morning, everybody. First, I wanted to say thank you, everybody who sent me a birthday message, a text message, a call. I really, really, really appreciate it. But I came on here to talk about something that's very dear to my heart. I literally just got a phone call from one of my little cousins saying that there was a young man who was 17 years old who killed himself on Facebook Live. And so here's the thing. I posted something about this before. I've been posting this and posting this and posting this about the Stay Alive Challenge. I know that this young man is not famous. I know that he doesn't have a name. He may not be in the church, whatever. But there's so many other people just like this young man. There are 8-year-olds killing themselves. There are 9-year-olds killing themselves. There's 10-year-olds killing themselves. And I don't think that people understand how serious this is. In the video that I made, God Sees You, I talk about the second leading cause of death among those who are 10 to 34 is suicide. I don't think people realize how serious of an issue this is. It's more than a post. It's more than a prayer hands in somebody's. So again, the second leading cause of death for those among the ages of 10 to 34 is suicide. Yes, 8-year-olds are killing themselves. Yes, 9-year-olds are killing themselves. 10-year-olds are killing themselves. Anybody can just say, well, why? Well, they shouldn't. They have no reason to want to die. Here's the thing. They do. So I just feel like people need to speak up and out about things like this more and more and be active and involved in their communities. I don't post a lot of the things that I do because I don't feel that it's necessary for me to always post if I'm talking or mentoring or whatever. You know what I mean? But it is my goal to really raise awareness about this. It is Suicide Awareness Month. I say this all the time. The suicide rates are highest in the summer, in the spring and in the summer. I believe we're still technically in the summer. I think that it is important for people to have these conversations. My goal is to be able to go into to different churches and different schools and different arenas and things like that to be able to go and talk about these types of things and have these conversations publicly, not just privately. People may say, Shanta, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a mental health clinician, and I'm not a counselor, I'm not a minister, I'm not a whatever. Here's the thing. When somebody is suicidal, really a lot of what they need is for you to be there, for you to listen, for you to encourage them, for you to try to convince them. Most times people are committing suicide when they're by themselves. Now, of course, we cannot stop every person from committing suicide. I know that now. But there is something that you can do. Pay attention to kids around you. Pay attention to people around you. Pay attention. Use all those gifts of the Spirit that people claim to have and ask the Holy Spirit, help me to see when something is going on. And for the body of Christ, we should not be able to, say people's account numbers and all of this and know their birthday and know their street and not know that somebody in our midst wants to die and is going home to kill themselves. I think that this is something that we should really talk about more and more and more and more because it's going to keep happening and keep happening. I could go in depth about all the dreams and visions and all of the things that God showed me was coming. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to. So here's the thing. When I used to, because I told you, I said before in some other posts that you may not have seen, when I was 17 years old, that's when I really start meeting and talking to people. I was not a clinician. I was not in mental health, nothing. I just know that people will call and be like, I want to die. I didn't care what I was doing. I would drop whatever the heck I was doing and I would go where that person was. People need other people. And I don't think people realize that. And because people are just so kind of just distracted and focused on other things, they don't understand or see stuff until somebody dies in the public eye. But it should not take some public, person or whatever dying for people to pay attention. Kids are murdering themselves. People feel that like they are not safe in this world. And I just think that people should speak out more on it and be more involved, actively involved in your churches because there are cutters in your churches. I have looked and seen the arms of a lot of young girls who are cutting themselves because they're being raped, they're being molested. Somebody has to talk about it. Somebody has to. When I went through what I was going through, you know what helped me? Somebody answering the doggone phone. People want to go and campaign and do all this stuff when a celebrity dies or a known pastor dies and all this stuff as if they care. Answer the doggone phone when your friend that's going through that you haven't seen in a while, that you haven't talked to in a while. It's stuff like that can help. When I went to the mental health hospital, you know who helped me? Not a psychiatrist, not the therapist, the lady, the nurse. I don't even remember her name, but she sat by that bed and she listened to me. She talked to me. She didn't make me feel like I was crazy for being there. She didn't try to make me feel like something was wrong with me. She just listened. And she said, I understand. And a lot of times that's what people need. And I hope that I don't seem like I'm going off, but I am a little bit because a lot of this stuff is happening and people are just kind of just going through life, not caring, not paying attention, not knowing. But these things should not continue to happen over and over and over and over again right before our eyes. It's very serious. I encourage you guys to get involved. Pay attention to the people around you because you don't know. A lot of times, again, you haven't talked to these people, you haven't seen these people, you know what I mean? They tell you they're going through and people just separate. I've seen people do that a whole lot. They deem people as crazy and then they stay away from them. A lot of these people are gifted. A lot of these people see stuff and they can't handle it. When you go to mental health facilities and you go to psych wards and you go to these places like this, these people do have some imbalances. And maybe I'm not saying all the technical stuff because I'm not a psychiatrist and I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a therapist or whatever. But I know that I've talked to so many people who have these, you know what I mean, suicidal ideations. And guess what? If it's somebody in my church, which it was in the church that I grew up in, who has suicidal ideations, you know what I did? I went to the hospital. I didn't say, oh, you shouldn't think like that because you're in church. Oh, you shouldn't think like that because you was raised this way. Look, this is what we dealing with. And I think that we just need to really deal with these things and really talk about these things and be open. So my goal is to be able to go into churches, into schools, and to all of these different places, raising awareness about this. Again, I don't mean to be going off, but this is just something that I'm very, you know what I'm saying, passionate about, and something that I think is very serious, you know what I mean, because there's death all around us. There's things going on crazy all around us, all in this world, and if we don't wake up and pay some doggone attention to the people who are right in our midst, we gonna keep on losing them. Niggas still gonna keep dropping like flies because folks not paying attention. Folks so distracted on other stuff and all these things that they want to do, and they're not paying attention to the people that's right in front of them. We shouldn't have people falling and slipping through the cracks. We shouldn't have people in our midst coming to our churches and then they leaving and they go crazy because churches or whatever, or people are just not equipped on how to handle this, or they don't want to deal with it, or just cut them off, just get rid of them. No, sometimes you got to suffer long with people, and I just hope to God that this comes off in the right way. I'm really not trying to go off, but I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, really hopefully you guys just pay attention and that you guys just really see. I don't want to see any more killings. I don't want to see all of this stuff and people don't feel safe. This is going to be the last thing. Pay attention. I started the I didn't start it. I joined the Stay Alive Challenge, and I asked people, create videos. Cyberbullying is a real thing. Kids cannot take certain stuff. Some adults cannot take certain stuff. I couldn't take certain stuff. And I'm the quote unquote strong one who people call for prayer to do this and do that. But everybody has their battle with certain things. Mine just happened to be an attack on my mind. But I think that what happens is people, you know, they're just so like, oh, they feel like you shouldn't be going through this type of thing. I remember even when I checked into the mental health hospital, the lady gonna tell me, you too young to be suicidal. Look, fool, I'm already in this mental health hospital. Do you think that that's something wise that you should tell me? If anything, you should understand how to handle people's fragility. We should not be going off, cuts people out, doing all that type of stuff. And even if it's in the comment section, I don't care if it is on social media. Like, people fragile, and if that person who you went off on killed themselves, you'll be sad. No, it's not your responsibility, you know what I'm saying, to keep everybody. Like I said, no, it's not your fault. No, it may not be your responsibility. But I believe that, especially Christians, you feel me? This is an appeal to humans, but especially people who are Christians. I think that we should be more sensitive and we should be more in tune with what is happening around us. We shouldn't just be so blinded by, oh, my ministry, and oh, my this, and oh, my position in church, and oh, my denomination, and oh, my clothes, and my outfit, and I'm dressed, and all of that stuff. I think that people so stuck on all the vanity and all the stupid stuff that they missing what's right in front of their eyes. Nobody in your family, at your church, should be suicidal and depressed, and nobody knows? You mean to tell me nobody knows? Something is wrong, because God said that he don't allow nothing to happen in this earth until he tell his servants, the prophets. And I know it's prophets that's sitting up in these midst, in these certain places. I believe that a lot of the reason why these things is happening is because they try to silence the voice of the prophets, silence the voice of the seers, silence all of these people, because you want to deem them as crazy, but everybody not crazy. They may not understand what they see. They may not understand. So again, this is me, Shanta Atkins, saying this because I want everybody who can to be a part of the Stay Alive Challenge. I want you guys to pay attention to the people who are around you, the people who are in your school, the people at your job. I've worked at places where this one lady who was super peaceful, super joyful, seemingly hung herself, okay? These things are real. When people are by themselves, the enemy has a chance to beat up their mind. They have to be alone with their thoughts. That's when the problem is. No, you cannot be around people and monitor them 24/7. But I believe that if we are really sensitive to what's going on around us, we could see, we could tell, man. So just, do something to encourage somebody. Be a light, be an example, be an encouragement. Encourage people to talk to their therapists. Encourage people to talk to counselors. Encourage people to see psychologists and psychiatrists and ministers. We all can do something. We all can play a part. We all can send an encouraging text message, an encouraging phone call, an encouraging message, something. We have multiple platforms that we